this video isn't necessarily related to any current project. I just kind of wanted to go over a more in-depth look at how to find assets for yourself. So throughout this class and while you're making any type of game, you're going to be asked repeatedly to find assets, or, in ideal circumstances, you could make your own assets, but not everybody has innate ability or has a lot of practice making art or making sounds. And to fill in that gap, there are tons of websites out there that you can get resources from. So, on your game design class, there are several sections, and one of them is the resources section. So you've got the asset resource sites, which I'm just adding to this list as I encounter new places that I think are good for you guys. The Kinney asset packs, these are the ones that I have purchased that whenever you open this particular assignment, you'll go to a folder whenever you click on this, and then download the asset packs that I've purchased for you. And then sound resources, which are different places you can get royalty-free music for your game, or royalty-free sound effects. So I've actually opened all of these up in tabs, hopefully in order, we'll see. So that I can kind of go through the process of finding things on each of these particular sites, and then once you get the hang of it, just with a few, you should be able to find your own resources a lot easier. And if you find yourselves running into a website that is blocked, let me know. I will make sure to take it to the tech department and make sure that it gets unblocked for you. So first up, we have craftpicks.net. The link takes you directly to the freebies page, because this site also sells resources as well as giving out free ones. The free ones are kind of like now you have some of this, maybe you want these ones that you have to pay for as well that match this set that you just got for free. So it's easy to accidentally, like while you're searching through, like if you don't want to just scroll through the pages. There are 6 pages of freebies. If you don't want to go through and just look at all of those individually, you might search for, let's look for space. I don't know, space-themed things. So now I've gone out of the freebie section and I'm seeing lots of cool things, but not all of them are free. The only ones that are free have this little blue icon, but many of these assets cost money. And I mean, I guess what you do with your money is fine, but I would encourage you to just stick to the free stuff. You are learning. There's no need to buy a bunch of assets that you're only going to use for one project, particularly a project that you're not going to put out and use to make money. So if you accidentally, or if you search space just to try and see if there are any free assets and you don't like what you find, and you want to get back to the freebies section, you can always click up here, and it'll take you back to that first section. You might also, if you want to look through, just if you're trying to get a particular thing, like in one of the lectures, I asked you to find buttons. So say you want to look at the GUI stuff. It'll sort all of their content based on what type of thing it is. That way you're not getting a cluttered up feed that has a bunch of sprites that you're not going to use and a bunch of backgrounds that you're not going to use. It just has GUI stuff. And then you can sort through the ones from there. Just look for the blue boxes on this website to find the free ones. That's totally fine. It's whatever you are comfortable with. But let's say I want the Jumping Up Game Items kit. So whenever I click on this page right here has a lot of buttons along the side. So you can unlock the download to get instant access to all the game assets. This is a very sneaky button, because this is a button suggesting that you pay for their subscription, which, by the way, there's this little ticker that says it's this many days away for this deal going away, but it resets all the time randomly. So I have yet to see that not to be on this page, set at random amounts of days and hours. So I'm pretty sure that that's a lie. But anyway, don't click the unlock download button. Keep scrolling until you get to the free download button. Whenever you click that, it'll want you to sign in. I would go ahead and sign in with your school Gmail account, and then you'll be able to download it. If you get a bunch of spam emails, you could always unsubscribe. That's the kind of downside to getting free things, is that the places you get them from tend to peg you for advertising from then on. So that's how you get that. There's also another free download button down here. And there's suggested similar items that you notice they also have the prices in the corner, or this one is free. So yeah, that is craftpicks.net. That's how you navigate that one. Kenny, of course, is the easiest one to follow and find what you need. So Kenny is a resource site that I would say 98% of it is free. I have purchased the full packs, so you have access to anything that Kenny makes for assets already. You just have to go to the Google Drive link that I provided for you, the Kenny Asset Packs link, to get access to the things that are his more premium items. But if you follow this link and you want to just look around, or you're looking for something in particular, go up to Assets at the top. And then you can just either scroll through each of the pages. There's 7 pages here. You can look at these game asset packs. These are the 3 packs I've purchased. So you could open them up and look and see what's in each pack to decide which one you need to download onto your computer. Or you could click this random asset pack button, which is kind of fun. It'll just take you to a random pack. And then if you don't like that, just hit back. Let's go to another random one. Oh, that took me to Robot Pack again. Let me see if I refresh the page and it gives me another random one. Yes, it does. Okay, so isometric roads this time. Maybe that's not relevant to me, and that's fine. But you can also search. So let's look for, let's just keep using our space example. So space. We've got lots of stuff. He's got Space Shooter Redux, which is his Space Shooter pack, and it's got extra pieces and things in it for making a space-themed game. This is a 3D version of his space-themed assets, and this is an extension pack for it. These are like UI elements, industrial platformer stuff that might have a kind of space age sort of look to it, UFOs. You get the point. There's even audio, because Kenny does have audio on his site. It's not a ton, but there is a little bit there, and it's pretty flexible stuff that you can use for any number of things. So there's that. You can also search on his page by 2D, 3D, audio, and UI, just like any other page, but the convenient part is that it's only going to show you his free assets. So any of these that you click on, you will be able to get. You don't have to worry about being tricked into clicking on something that you like, but then you find out that it is not free. So his stuff is very straightforward. That's why I prefer this site for at least starting you guys finding something. It's just easy. So the next link, I'll show you the link that I have on here for you versus what the Unity Asset Store looks like when you just load it up regular. So whenever you click on the link in your Google Classroom, it will take you to a pre-sorted list of only free items, because the Unity Asset Store has hundreds of thousands of things on it, and it is easier if I just go ahead and sort it for you, and then you don't have to worry about accidentally finding something that's not free. But like you said, like you see here, the free stuff, there's still 4,755 results. That is quite a lot. There are tons of things on here, and then you can search within that to find what you're looking for. But if you were to go to just assetstore.unity.com, or whenever you open Unity and you open the Asset Store window inside of Unity, it's going to take you to this page. And this is just the Asset Store as a whole. And I'm going to show you how to navigate this. So at the beginning of this class is all 2D. So let's focus on the 2D stuff and just see what this looks like. So if I click on 2D, I've got these different categories that I could look into. Now it'll tell me what the best-selling stuff is down here. But say I want environments. So if I click on environments, the internet's running quite slow today, so bear with me. If I click on environments, 867 2D environment results. Now I want to sort by price. So if I click on price, this is slightly different than the other pages. There's no just like simple free button. So grab the top button, drag it all the way down to meet zero. So it's $0 to $0. And then everything that pops up now will be free. So 58 results is a much more reasonable amount of things to go through. And you've got tons of cool environment things to look for in here. You could also, if you want to search for space, it's going to give me suggestions of specific stuff, but instead I'm just going to hit space. Right now it's searched directly in what I had already limited to. So it searched in 2D environments and then searched for space. But say I want to go to 2D and search for space, just to try and get as many space-themed assets as I could possibly want. I just hit enter whenever it was empty. That was silly of me. Okay, space. I apologize for the slowness of my computer today. It's having a struggle. Okay. I'm going to hit search. Okay. So we've got all this. Obviously, it got rid of all my search parameters because I went back to just the 2D page. So now I can go back and I can change this to $0. And now I have 16 results of free space-themed items that I could find for my game, which is very cool. We've got these animated spaceships, which I quite like. We got some kind of cool backgrounds, dynamic space background, neat stuff. So that's how you kind of navigate and narrow things down in the Unity Assets Store. OpenGameArt.org is a very, very large website. It's got tons of stuff in it. So let's say I just want to look at their 2D art. This one is probably one of the trickiest ones to navigate just because there is the sheer volume of stuff that is on here, and the search system is not the most user friendly for beginners. So I just clicked 2D art and there's lots of neat stuff. Hey, look, there's spaceships. How convenient. But let's say again space, and let's see what it spits out at me. 2D art that is space. We've got 674 results. So I could at this point choose to go through and narrow things down. Right now it's set to 2D art. That's great. I don't want anything else. These are license types. Basically, these are the copyright that you could fall under for using this stuff. A lot of them are contribution copyright. Some of them are Creative Commons, meaning you can just use whatever you find as long as you credit it back. So let's just check this first one. I'm honestly not positive exactly what ones mean what. If you want to search that, you can. I'm just going to, for the sake of trying it out, do it this way. So you can use this image, any image from this pack in the project. The only condition is that you thank me in your project. So essentially you can use whatever, you can do whatever you want to it as long as you credit the original owner, which is great. So that's the spaceship pack. They've got some particle effects there. We've got lots of different types of spaceships. And I can go back here and keep scrolling through all of this stuff. So that's Open Game Art. Of course, this is the largest resource that you're going to find tons of different types of stuff. They have music here. They have sound effects here. They have so many different things. So if you want sound effects for your game, you can come to Open Game Art and you can get all these different sounds. So say I wanted to look for bump. Like bump was the search term I used whenever I was looking for something whenever my ball bounced off of an object. So I could look through these and try to pick from here, or keep narrowing down my search results. But you get the idea. This one is a very different thing. This is actually a game that was on the internet for a while, and then they took it down and stopped the game running, and then just provided the assets for anybody who wants them. So if you happen to like the style of this game, you can use the assets. They have them all here for you to grab if you want. So if you want like sprite sheets, if you want like backgrounds or clothing style or any number of other things. So like if I clicked on this, it'll take me to GitHub and it'll show me all of the stuff in their item. So I don't know. Let's look at alchemy and see what that is. Um, Essence of Gandalvery. So it's an FLA file and an SWF file, which means you're gonna have to have a 3D program to open these, but you get the idea. This is, we're not working in 3D just yet, but that's kind of what Glitch is. This was that, like I said, that one's kind of an oddball one and a very special case. Game 2D art or Game Art 2D is another one that I have linked you directly to the freebies page. They don't have a ton of freebies, but they do have animated characters, which can be very useful whenever we get to some platforming. It'll be nice to have characters that have animations. We've got some tile sets here, which again are designed for platformers, and therefore you could kind of pair these items with the sprites you get above, and they should match fairly well because they're from the same developer. Couple of UI items, and then some miscellaneous assets. There's not a ton of free stuff on this one, but it has a very certain style that if you're into it, it could work pretty well. It's kind of cutesy, kind of cel-shaded, simplified style. Itch.io is another one on your list. This one may look different when you load it up because it just changes. The screen changes based on what's currently popular. This is definitely one of the most difficult ones to search through because they have not redesigned their asset page searches. So if I were to search for up here in the search bar, it would take me to games related to whatever my search item was instead of just assets. They don't have a way to search just within the assets, which is very unfortunate because there are so many. But I already have narrowed it down for you to free. So you could also, if you want to change your price filter on the left there, you can. That's what that is. But the easiest way, I think, to figure this out, to search through this, is you can scroll through the different tags and decide what one you want to look for. So as you're scrolling through, you think, yeah, I kind of want to make an asteroid style game. And it will bring up these asteroids assets. Let's say you want to look for board game. Oh, asteroids and board game doesn't exist because that makes sense. That would be kind of a weird combination. So what I just did was I just hit back until I was back on the main page. Let's look at cyberpunk assets. Okay, so you get the point. Itch is a very large amount of stuff, but the problem is that it doesn't have a great sorting system just yet. So you have to kind of figure out what search terms you're wanting to look for while you're looking for them and really hope that the creators tagged their stuff appropriately. There's also these collections on the left, which are nice. Some users have created their own little groups of stuff. So if you were to open this one that's all asset packs, this is a person who started collecting all of their own asset packs together. So say you really like this particular artist's style, you could grab their Sunnyland Woods and their Sunnyland Forest, and you could mix and match because the same artist made both items, so therefore they should fit together pretty well. All of these look obviously like they were made by the same person. Downside, of course, this is a $30 pack right here that's got everything in a bundle. So you have to be careful, making sure that you're looking at everything, all of the information on your screen. They have a lot of stuff though, so there is that. So that's what that looks like. There are, of course, more stuff over here, tiled resources, assets for games, lots of stuff. So yeah, that's itch. It is very strong as an asset resource, but it is also a little bit more tricky to find exactly what you're looking for. But if you're looking just like you have no idea of what you might want to do, this might be a good way for you to just kind of browse until something jumps out at you. So that's what that one is. And the last one I've just added is GameDevMarket.net. This stuff, again, is not all free. So let's go to 2D. And let's change the type to free and see if this works. So earlier I tried this and it argued with me. Okay, it did. So we're just in 2D assets. We've sorted it by free. We've got tons of different stuff that of varying types. So say I want to search science fiction. I'm going to just go with my space theme. See what I get here. Unfortunately, this website's running a little bit slow today, so we'll see. You can see down here there are subcategories, so if you're looking for a specific thing, say you want objects and you want food objects, maybe your game is going to have, I don't know, like food. Like for your block breaker game, maybe your game has food items as the blocks that you break. There's vehicles, there are textures. It's nicely sorted, so that's one reason that this would be a good resource. And eventually this will load my science fiction search, but while it's waiting to do that, let's talk about another thing. Another resource that I have not talked about at all is Google. So Google is very flexible in that you can type in search terms and find anything on the internet, right? So the trick with Google is to search for the right things. So I'm going to look for free game asset space. And now I've got a bunch of, you'll notice a lot of old favorites here. We've got itch.io, which we've already talked about, Game Dev Market, Open Game Art. We've got the Kenny Space Pack here. We've got people who have penned stuff on Pinterest, and the list goes on and on and on. So basically, Google can be your best friend in this case. So it's finally finished searching for just sci-fi. And I've got a much more narrowed down list of things. So I've got some cyberpunk characters, lab background, some spacey looking tile sets, and this robot with an afro. Don't have an explanation for that, but that's where it is. So I hope this clears up some of your looking for assets information. Treat the sound resource asset finding essentially the same. Basically, narrow down your search terms wherever possible to free. Make sure you're watching all the information. If you need to sign in, you can sign in using your Google account, and then you can always unsubscribe to any spammy emails you get later. Yeah, so anytime we're looking for assets, you can come back to this video if you need help with a particular search term, but I think that hopefully this should clear everything up for you.